The big mistake that people make when they go to sell something is they're
Yep.
focused on their product or service. They're focused on the features and benefits of their product. And they
Mm-hmm.
think if I educate someone about my product, they're going to make the natural, logical conclusion of purchasing it. It doesn't work that way, because what you're not doing is you're not showing any interest in the other person. You're showing interest in the person buying what you have, but you're not exploring what's going on with them. Greetings, badass entrepreneurs. Coach Dan Gordon here with a very special episode of For Badass Entrepreneurs Only. Today, the tables get turned and I get interviewed by Nick Portillo, Titans of Foodservice. I know you're going to love it. Check it out. I'm loving it. All right, let's dive in, man. Where do we begin?
Okay. So I'd like to start off with the Fiery 5 food service questions. Fun, just
Okay.
5 easy icebreaker questions. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. My first question.
Is there a timer?
There's no timer. Nope.
Oh, you got to put the pressure on, man. That's where I thrive.
Okay, good. Okay, here's the first one. If you could have dinner with any one person, historical or alive, who would it be and why?
It can't be Captain Kirk because he doesn't fall into the criteria. But in all honesty, it has to be Dr. Martin Luther King.
Amazing.
When I was in 6th grade, I pulled his name out of a little coffee can to do a book report on him. And ever since then, I have been fascinated with this man. And really, Dr. King kicked off my interest in high achievers and what it is that makes high achievers. Like what makes them work. Followed him, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, then like Richard Branson, Elon Musk. And it's really interesting, the things that make these people tick and the raw materials that they have, which is all pretty similar.
Okay, great answer. Great start. Question number 2. If someone had one night in the city of Crestline, where you live, which is a small town, I know,
God.
in the mountains here in
I
Southern
tell them to leave. Okay,
Tell them to
go ahead.
leave. Where must they eat?
Okay, so that's actually a really good question. There is a place called the Stockade. Yeah, it's a groovy little bar that someone just from LA took over. And it was sort of a dive, and he's made it in this really nice place. The hamburgers are just out of this world. It's hard to get a good hamburger in Los Angeles. Like, I'm from the Midwest. I'm from St. Louis. Like, we are born barbecuing, and it's hard to get a really good burger in LA. So yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Question number 3. If you could only have one type of cuisine for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Oh, man. Well, deli.
Deli.
Look, I'm a Jewish guy from the Midwest. It's just, if that's got to be it, it's got to be deli.
Okay. Are there any foods or dishes you've wanted to try but haven't yet?
No, absolutely not.
You tried them all.
No, I go right after the things I want.
Amazing. Do you have a favorite food-related memory from traveling?
Yeah, this is really funny. This is something recent. I was doing a speaking gig in Phoenix. And so we took a little tour on the way back and just stopped at a bunch of different places. And we really wanted some Indian food. And my fiance is vegetarian. So like Indian food is something that's always easy. And couldn't find any, like, there was one Indian restaurant, it was closed. I found this other one and we pull in and Rosalind's like, what, are you turning around here? I'm like, no, this is it. It was at a truck stop. Literally, it's a truck stop. And we walk in, it is the diviest dive in the world. But oh my God, the food was out of this world. It was so good. And we have like had this private joke between us. Like, we only go to restaurants at truck stops. And we found this at the coffee shop at a truck stop that was really good too. Yeah, I mean, that was the best. That was really, really good. And, when we talk about Indian food, we're like, how far away is that place? Can we try?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for humoring me. I can't even speak today on the Fiery 5 food service questions. Okay, let's jump into it. Maybe a little background on yourself. Who are you? What is your business?
I'm a troublemaker, man. Stay away from me. It's funny because I say that when I go into networking events and someone says, what do you do for a living? I say, I'm a professional troublemaker. And I do that for 2 reasons. One, I kind of am. And 2, it's interesting. And it kind of leads to what I wanted to share with your audience today, which the most important thing in our culture is to be interesting. The second most important thing is to be good, because with social media and just the way that things have evolved, it is being interesting that draws people's focus. You can't just be interesting. You do have to be good. But the mistake I see a lot of people making is they put a lot of time into being good. And they think, well, if I'm really good at what I do, then I'll get a lot of clients and customers. But the truth is, that's not what works. What works is drawing people's interest. And so saying I'm a professional troublemaker makes people lean in and go, well, what do you mean by that?
Mhm.
As opposed to saying, well, I'm a business coach. And right, the first thing that people think is, oh, he's going to try to enroll me as a client because look, I'll be honest, I hate most coaches because that's what they do most of the time is just try to sucker people into their stupid programs. And so it really is a matter of creating yourself as a brand, but creating your business as a brand and making that brand something that people want to lean into and know more about.
For those that are uninteresting, how can they become sorry, call out probably to some people out there.
No,
Um,
but no, look, everybody's interesting. I didn't come into the world like this. I was a
yeah,
really quiet, shy kid. I was a really shy, quiet kid. Yeah, I was picked on in junior high school, beaten up in high school. I was, really heavy and I reached a point early in my life where I said, I don't want to be like this. It was like looking around and having that thought about Dr. King. Well, what is it? I mean, I breathe the same air everybody else does. What is it that what makes them different? And what it is your willingness to challenge yourself, your willingness to be uncomfortable, your willingness to step out of a place that feels familiar.
sure.
And so if you do that consistently, you can change your way of being. I could really have easily said, look, I'm shy, I'm an introvert, I'm just being myself. That's how I am. But I think that's a bit of a cop out.
Sure.
I think that you can evolve into a kind of person that you want to be. And frankly, that's what I've done for the past 20 years I've helped over 1,000 entrepreneurs evolve into living a kind of life that they dreamed of, but didn't think was possible.
In terms of helping entrepreneurs find the dreams that they didn't think that was possible, actually, let's take a step back in terms
Okay.
of looking at interesting and good. I agree
All
that a
right.
lot of people, or most people, they're interesting in some way, but it's really,
Mhm.
as you're, I think, kind of alluding to, is getting it out of them and like formulating it in a conversation or in a presentation or whatever it is. How best can someone determine, what makes them interesting and share that with the world?
The best way to be interesting is to be completely interested in someone else. If you show a great deal of interest in other people, immediately they think you're brilliant. It's just endemic in our humanity. Let me give you an example. I moved to LA when I was 39, right? I spent 39 years in St. Louis, Missouri, and then moved out to LA. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have a job. Like I didn't have anything here. And I wanted to make movies. And so I joined this little networking group and they said, you got to go to networking events. I'm like, all right, what's a networking event? And right. And I said, well, what am I going to talk about? Like, I just moved here. I don't know what I'm doing. And they said, look, just talk about, like, get people to talk about themselves. It's LA. People love talking about themselves. And that's exactly what I did. I just invested myself in other people. What do you do? And how does that work? And I just got really curious because people would talk about the kind of things that they do in the movie industry. And it was really interesting to me. So I just kept asking questions. And then, people started offering me, hey, like if you need help, and, I got like free lights and all this stuff because I was just interested in other people. It starts there. Be genuinely interested in other people. And then when it comes to kind of showing up as an interesting person, never say what you do. Never say the clinical expression of what you do. Like I'm a lawyer, I'm a coach, I'm a podcaster. That's not interesting. You want to give a twist to it that drives people's curiosity and it makes them lean in and say, what do you mean by that? And that's how you start to formulate a level of being interesting. Now, I can't tell you what that is. Like, I don't have a list, like
Sure.
a flow chart of, okay, you're this, say this. But what happens is the more you're out there talking to other people, the more you start recognizing what it is that captures people's interest. And
Mm.
there's no other way to do this than to do it. Like you can't do it on ChatGPT. You can't, do a Google search. You got to get out there and see what it is that drives people to want to know more about you.
I could definitely speak to that. When I started this podcast, when I'd have people come on, I'd have like 3 pages of questions typed out and
Yeah,
notes,
right.
and I just kinda go through the questions formulaically. Over time, I learned how to become a better conversationalist,
Mm,
as you're saying, like, getting more interested in others. Tell me about yourself and why, and, like, digging levels deeper and learning more about them and what makes them unique, and I feel like it's really even again, as you said, it's kind of repetition and practice, and I've
mhm.
just gotten better at it because I've done it over 60 times now,
Yeah,
and it's really translated both here on the podcast, of course, but also my personal and professional life as well.
that's great. The other thing, and that's what I'm talking about, you're actually doing that,
Yeah.
right? Like, you tried something like I did the same thing when I launched for Badass Entrepreneurs.
Mhm,
I would spend a day doing research on the people that I was interviewing, and it's
mhm.
like and it took forever, and I quit for a while because I was just burnt out, right? So you gotta go easy.
Any tactics around let's take myself, I always
Okay.
like to use myself as an example. I
Sure.
consider myself an extroverted introvert. So by nature, I am an introvert, but I
Mhm.
have the ability to come off as extroverted. For those introverts out there, let's say they're in a sales profession, because I feel like introverts can be just as good as extroverts. But
Yeah.
how can they break through? Maybe sometimes an introvert might be labeled as shy or maybe a little bit more reserved. How can they
Mhm.
break through to again help share what makes them interesting?
Okay. That's a great question. And let me back up a bit
Yeah.
from that because it's a bit different. So in networking, you do want to capture people's interest, but in sales, you want to focus on being interested in the other person. The big mistake that people make when they go to sell something is they're
Yep.
focused on their product or service.
Yep.
And then deeper, they're focused on the features and benefits of their product or service. And they
Mhm.
think, hey, if I share my features and benefits, and if I educate someone about my features and benefits and my product, they're going to make the natural, logical conclusion of purchasing that. It doesn't work that way because what you're not doing is you're not showing any interest in the other person. You're showing interest in the person buying what you have, but you're not exploring what's going on with them. And so you want to ask them questions, but not questions that are designed to get them to buy the product, right? If I'm selling you a coffee mug, right, and I start with, don't you hate it when you pour your coffee in your mug and a minute later it's cold? Don't you hate that?
Yeah.
And you know where this is going, right? It's like, yeah, of course I hate that, just like everybody else. So then you should really look at this mug. I'm like, ugh. And it's the same pitch they do for everyone. So you're not special. They don't care about you.
Yeah.
As opposed to, hey, what kind of coffee do you drink, man? Like, what's your favorite kind of coffee? Oh, really? What do you like about it? And then when you get 2 or 3 questions in, stop asking questions and make a statement because you get to a point really quickly where you make someone feel like you're conducting an interrogation, and the interrogation leads to them buying what you're selling, right? People
Mhm.
don't like being led down the primrose path. So it's like, I look at you and I see someone who loves their morning coffee, but doesn't like drinking coffee during the day because it keeps you up at night.
Mhm.
Am I right about that? Okay. So let's say, yes, I am. Okay. Then I want to follow up with something, not about buying my coffee mug. Okay. But let's say I'm wrong about that. You're like, no, I love drinking coffee throughout the day. Like, whoa, I was completely wrong about that. Man, how do you do that? Like, how do you drink coffee at like 3 o'clock and then go to sleep, right? So we're still having an authentic conversation that
Yeah.
is not about my product.
It's maybe like more relationship building, kind
Yeah.
of building trust in somebody before the product is introduced or before you
Hmm.
start trying to sell your product. You're kind of building the relationship and then meshing the product or the sale or service, whatever it is, into your conversation.
Hmm. That's it. The best of all worlds, wait for the other person to bring up your product, right? So I've been working with a bunch of realtors. In fact,
Yeah.
tonight I'm doing a presentation and to help realtors sell better. And one of the things I tell them is don't talk about the house. When someone comes in, ask them questions like, wow, you look like a first time buyer. Like, oh yeah, like, it's great because you have that first time buyer enthusiasm. Don't talk like this is a great house for first time buyers. No, just talk about what the experience is like of buying of home shopping. Is it stressful? And then let them ask the question. Like that, let them lead into the sale because it's a lot more organic and it shows that you're not just focused on selling the house. The worst thing that you can do in any sales or leadership experience is make someone feel like you're maneuvering them into something.
I like that. For me, one example that comes to my mind, so I'm a food broker and I represent
Yeah.
different food manufacturers. And they hire us to be their sales or marketing team within the markets
Hmm.
that we're in, California, Nevada, and Hawaii. So those are our markets.
Sure.
And they'll have a representative from the manufacturer. They'll fly out or they'll come visit us here, let's say in Southern California, where I'm based. And I will set up an appointment with, let's take a restaurant chain. So we'll go into
Sure.
that restaurant chain. It's myself and then the representative from the manufacturer. A lot of times I will have the relationship with the customer we're going to see, but the manufacturer walks in and immediately starts trying to sell their product. This is, hi, I'm Joe. I'm with this company. Here's my products. Why don't you try them? And a lot of times I want to hide underneath the desk
uh,
because it's so cringy. I'm like, gosh, if you just take, even if it's just 5 minutes, let's just break some ice here. Who are you? What makes you interesting? We know your products are going to be good, but I like to think in my head is I don't necessarily want your products to be memorable. I want you to be memorable. That's
yeah.
what's important. So when that decision maker, maybe they buy something today, maybe they buy something in a year from now, but when they're ready to buy, they think of Joe as the person with the solutions, with the products that I know he can deliver for me.
Yeah. And, Nick, think about this. What if that manufacturer, what if the distributor came in and just started giving the restaurant owner some advice? Like, hey, we work with a lot of chain restaurants. There's this new software
Yeah.
that it's out right now. People are loving it. Have you heard of XYZ? No, okay. It's going to completely transform how you do, this, and this. You really should check it out. By the way, we get a 15-day free trial. Let me give you a discount code so you can give it a shot. Right there, you're offering value.
Mm.
So at the very least, like say something nice about them, about their restaurant, right? About the chain, about just something
Yeah.
other than here, buy my crap.
I like to equate it to someone going on the other side of the table and viewing the world through the customer's eyes. What's
Yeah.
important to them. Someone being a consultant or a resource to them. I like that to help them, not just, you're not just here to sell a product, but you're here to be a solution for many different
Mhm.
parts of their business, really like a consultant.
Think about it this way. When you make your prospect just
Mhm.
feel like an ATM machine, which is
Mhm.
exactly what you're talking about. I want to sell you something. It's sort of like going on a first date and the
Yeah.
person saying, look, I want to get married. I don't care who I get married to. I'm just looking to get married. Do you think you'd want to marry me? And like, holy crap, like, can we
Yeah.
have a drink first?
Right.
Right? You're dehumanizing people when
Mhm.
you sell like that. And I don't even look at that as selling. You're just trying to offload your stuff onto someone. And I think where that comes from is a tremendous amount of fear. You walk into a sales situation, you don't quite know how to handle yourself. You're worried about getting a no. So you just want to like vomit out everything
Mhm.
so that stress can relieve itself. That's what people do. That's the majority of reason that people sell so poorly is they feel that internal pressure and they
Mhm.
just want to get that pressure out. But what they don't realize is they're shooting themselves in the foot. And so, one of the things I'm always on the lookout
Yeah.
for tools that help me help my clients increase our performance and reduce stress. So, hey, look, I've tried meditating, I've tried plant medicine, microdosing, all these things. I was turned on to something by a friend. It's this process called binaural beats, and it's listening. It's essentially listening to music. And underneath the music are waveforms. And this company is called Nucalm, Nucalm. I started using it, and it has been a complete game changer, right?
Hmm.
It improves my sleep. Really, one of the number one things that entrepreneurs don't get is sleep. You have to sleep. Okay.
Yeah.
So I play this as I'm sleeping, puts me out. It's like a cartoon hammer on my head. Boom, I'm out. It relieves stress. It enhances my focus. So, like right before this, I'm listening to Newcom because I know it's opening up my creativity. The way that the brain works is it is constantly seeking new information. And when there is something that it can latch onto, it will focus on. So I use it to get to sleep. I tend not to sleep a whole lot. So there's a rescue channel in this. And what rescue does is you listen to it for 30 minutes in the morning, and it makes you feel like you've had a full night of restful sleep. So instead of just running for the coffee, I do New Calm before I get out of bed. And by the time I'm done with it in 30 minutes, I'm feeling amazing. So here's the really cool thing.
Yeah.
60 professional sports teams use New Calm. The US Department of Defense, the Special Forces, Navy SEALs, FBI, like all of these high-level government operations that have a lot more stress than I do use it for their people. And it is really taken over. And so I'm in love with this product. All of my clients use it. I encourage everybody to.
Okay, good to know. I've never heard of a binaural bead.
Binaural beats. Yes.
Binaural beats, not beads.
Yes.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, I think as an entrepreneur myself, when it comes to sleep, there are many nights where it takes me a while to fall asleep because I just have
Yeah.
a busy mind. I think in the world of
Mhm.
sales as well, it's another industry where there's another field of profession where it's, you're always thinking, what's the next sale? Or is this deal going to come to
Right.
fruition? All these different things. And so your mind can stay active, and rest is an important part of that to maintain your good mental health, and then also
Mhm.
be able to have the energy day in and day out to go out and continue to make presentations and put yourself out there, get the no's, get the yes, and everything in between.
Yeah. Staying focused and on top of your thinking. And to your point, easing that monkey mind
Hmm.
is critical because look, selling is listening. And if you don't listen well, you can't sell well. And if your mind is thinking two steps ahead, you aren't in the moment. You
Hmm.
aren't there with that person,
That's right.
right? When the person that you're talking to says something that's just a genuine nugget of truth, you want to be able to respond to that immediately. If they share something that they're struggling with, that is really clear that they don't talk about a lot, like, wow, you want to jump on that
Yeah.
and appreciate their openness, talk to them about it, see if you can be of service. And if you're not focused, if your mind is 3 steps ahead, you're going to miss that. And that one conversation could create a lifelong customer
Hmm.
just because you showed that you care.
Amazing. Dan, what's the way for people to find you and reach out to you?
Yeah, so it's easy to find me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Just search for Coach Dan Gordon. The other thing, look, I love talking to people about selling. I love, having quick conversations. So if you want to have a quick chat with me, a little no cost consultation, and I swear to God, I'm not going to try to sell you on being a client. The only thing I will do is I'll show you a glimpse of how badass you can be. Just text the word help, as in, give me some help, Coach Dan. Text the
Yeah.
word help to that same number, 213 409 8366. Help, HELP, 213 409 8366. And book a call with me or just jump onto LinkedIn or go to my website, dangordonenterprise.com. I mean, there's a lot of ways to get in touch with me.
Yeah.
I'd say LinkedIn is a good start. If you just want to get to know me, you can get to my website there. If you feel like having a call with me is something that you want to do, great.
Fantastic. Well, Dan, thank you so much for coming on the Titans of Food Service. I really appreciate it. I learned some new things today as well. So
Oh,
thank
I'm
you.
glad. I'm really
Yeah.
glad. And one last thing I want to say to you,
Yeah.
you who are listening, not you, Nick, but yeah, you, Nick. So there's a greater version of you inside of you, and that greater version lives in the future. And you know that. You know you're trying to get better at what you do. The thing that is preventing you from moving into that greatest version of yourself isn't time. It's not just a matter of getting smarter and learning and getting there. It's a matter of shattering the illusions of the beliefs that you have about what you are incapable of achieving.
Hmm.
And I can tell, I mean, I go into it. We don't have time, but I can tell you from my experience of the 1,000 entrepreneurs I have coached that becoming that greater version of yourself is about moving into the things that you struggle with, that you fear, that you don't want to do. You need to get rid of the map of the minefield and just start stepping on the landmines. You're not going to blow up. What you're going to do is you're going to discover just how badass you are. And when you do that, your courage is going to increase, your communication is going to increase, your confidence is going to increase, and you'll start to move into that greater version at a rapid pace. But it takes starting. And I'd love for you to start now. That's my
Fantastic.
piece.
I love it. Dan, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, one last thing. If you're feeling stuck in business life, wherever, download my book, Jumping the Gap, Kill Your Story and Take Action. In this book, you'll see how the stories that you tell yourself are stopping yourself from living your greatest life. Just text the word GAP, G-A-P, to this number, 213-409-8366. 213-409-8366, and text the word GAP. It's a short read, it's fun, it's easy, and if you hate reading like I do, you can grab the audiobook. It's at that same link. Just text the word GAP, G-A-P, to 213-409-8366. You'll love it. All right, that's it. Go out there and be badass today.